There was a lot of talk yesterday. There was a lot of conversation. There were interviews yesterday that had to do with the Dallas Cowboys, and that is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, owner and GM. And, there's a lot of questions here, but these are legitimate questions. This isn't, hey, nothing else to talk about. Let's make up something about the Cowboys. Now we're going to camp. Now we're in camp. CeeDee Lamb is not there. Dak Prescott's there, and it seems like once the season starts, he's not talking about his contract. You got Mike McCarthy in the last year of his contract, which would make him a lame duck, even though Jerry Jones said that he doesn't believe he's a lame duck. Micah Parsons, 2 years away from the end of his contract. He wants to get paid. Now, if you start to look at the numbers, and we've talked about this before, if Jerry had paid CeeDee Lamb 6 weeks ago, would they be in this situation where now all of a sudden what CeeDee Lamb is going to want is a whole lot more than what you would have paid him 6 weeks ago? And the answer is yes. Like, what he wants now is completely different than what you could have paid him 6 weeks ago. When the Eagles paid A.J. Brown, that's when the Cowboys should have said, let's sign him up. Let's just get similar numbers, because all of a sudden, everybody knew Justin Jefferson. Teams were trying to sign their receivers before Justin Jefferson. Because once he set the market, now all of a sudden everybody wanted, Brandon Ayuk, what's he going to get paid? CeeDee Lamb, they should have signed him up. If you truly believe in Dak Prescott and you think he can help you win a Super Bowl, why are you waiting now? Now, if you don't think he can win, and you want him to prove it again, even though he was an MVP candidate last year, then make him play this out. But if I'm Dak Prescott, I want to be the Cowboys quarterback, but I do think there will be probably 6 teams that would be interested in Dak Prescott in the open market next season. Tennessee would be, I would think. Now, I'm going to do this off the top of my head. The Jets would be interested. Let's see what Aaron Rodgers does this year. Seattle would be interested, in my opinion. Dallas should be. Vegas. Vegas should be. They would be interested in Dak Prescott. Let's see. Who else would be? I think Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin would be interested in Dak Prescott.
Feels like they got a lot of quarterbacks lately.
Yeah, but maybe they move on from Russell Wilson Jr. III. Dak is your starting quarterback there. Who else am I leaving out here?
Say the Titans?
Titans, yes.
Raiders?
Yeah, I mentioned them.
Yep.
Saints.
There's another one.
Saints could be one.
Carolina. Who knows what's happening with Bryce Young after this season? Now, if I'm Dak, do I want to go there? But I'm just saying, getting offers. Yes, Todd?
Colts?
No.
Rams, life after Matt Stafford?
No.
Well, Colts maybe.
No. They love Anthony Richardson.
If he's healthy.
Yeah, well, if he stays healthy. But, no, Rams just re-signed Matthew Stafford.
What about the Giants?
Yes.
That could be fun.
Yep.
That would actually be a ton of fun.
Great call. Great call.
That could be...
What if Belichick went to the Giants and he got Dak Prescott, his quarterback? Yeah, I don't know what the Cowboys, unless Trey Lance is a whole lot better than we thought he was.
Huh?
then you can let Dak walk. Okay, but here's Jerry Jones. Here's Jerry talking about Dak Prescott.
Jerry, you mentioned about Dak potentially going to the final year of his contract, you being all in on this year, him being all in on this season. Has that allowed you to think that this could be his last season with the Cowboys?
I don't think so. Just to be very specific, I do not think that this will be his last year with the Cowboys at all. It's pretty clear, I think. I want to say it if it hadn't been clear, of how much we appreciate what Dak Prescott has meant to this team in a positive way. And the players do play better when he's out there. He does make his teammates play at a higher level. There's no question about it. So I'm right there in line with his best fan.
Okay.
But
that sounds like...
That being said...
we want to thank him for his contributions.
Who knows what the future may hold?
Wow. That is not a ringing endorsement. That is not. If you said, hey, how much do you love your wife? And you said those things.
As I have said many times before.
He was also asked about what it means to be all in Dallas.
I'm all in. I'm all in. Sometimes being all in means you remove the months out here that are in the future, and you narrow it down to where all we're talking about is right now and the next playoff season, and that's it for everybody. We're all in. We're all in. It's all right there. We all got some things out here in the future, another 2 or 3 years on contracts, all that stuff. Let's all get in here. Zero right now in this. Dak's got his year contract. Let's focus right here. We all got a lot on the line for that playoff game. A lot of it.
What playoff game? Hopefully playoff games, plural.
Well,
how all in can you be when, once again, Coach is in his last year, Dak's in his last year, CD's holding out, your big off-season acquisition was bringing back Zeke Elliott, and Micah Parsons wants probably $35 million a year. CD's going to want 30, Parsons 35, Dak's going to get 60. Got over 15 million in almost 120 million in 3 players. Yes, Mark.
Is this going to be the world's biggest I told you so if Dak wins the MVP? Because he was the MVP candidate last year. Say if they go 13-4 and run through the NFC.
I don't know. Once again, I truly put this out there not to troll anybody. I just don't know. Mike McCarthy survives if Dak Prescott is the quarterback in Dallas next year. If it just sounds strange to say that Dak he gets you to the playoffs. Now, I mean, you can say, is he a great quarterback? No. Is he at times a very good quarterback? Yes. He certainly needs CD Lamb because I don't think loading up Zeke Elliott's going to scare anybody here. But just feels like everything is hinging on this season. Yes, Mark.
It's all in and wait and see at the same time. Like, what does that mean? Are you all? He's all in just for this season?
He's all in on this decision to not do anything in the future. It's all in right now for this playoff game, and whatever that means. But if I'm Dak Prescott, and let's say you had a good year, let's say you lose in the second round again, do you want to stay? Like at some point, do you say, and who's going to be your coach? If you don't go to the title game, is Mike McCarthy going to survive? Like if he's a great coach, you don't let your coach be in limbo, a lame duck. Yes, Heaton.
How do you know you're going to a better situation? Like those are a lot of teams that we listed off that would be interested in him. But is that a better situation than the one he's in now?
Well, I'm talking about being wanted.
Yeah.
Like, let's say Seattle.
Like he's going to find a job, so you don't have to worry about that. He'll find a good paycheck.
Yeah, but if you went to Seattle, they got some weapons there. They're going to welcome you in. The Raiders with Devontae Adams, Crosby. I mean, I don't know. Just feels like Dallas is taking him for granted. You weren't a first-round draft pick. You weren't a second round. Hey, if Tony doesn't get hurt. I remember somebody with the Cowboys was like, well, let's see when it's Dak's team, not taking over Tony's team. And I was like, okay. And then years later, saw him again. I said, I think Dak did pretty well with his team. And he goes, well, Jerry's team. I go, okay.
Yeah, well,
it just feels like they just don't want to give Dak enough credit here. Yes, Mark.
And with the Cowboys, it feels like if they lose to maybe the Eagles or the 49ers, it won't be that bad. But if they lose again to like the Packers or a home playoff loss, Mike McCarthy's out. I don't care what round it is. You lose a playoff game at home, it's a wrap for Mr. McCarthy.
Well, here's Dak Prescott talking about his future.
Obviously, I want to be here. You know, when I'm going to say it. I want to be here, but, you know, when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that's not something to fear. That may be a reality for me one day, may not be my decision. So that's the freedom that I have is be where your feet are, make the most of it, be confident in yourself, make your team better. I love my teammates. I love that locker room. I love everything about being out here in Oxnard and being a Dallas Cowboy. So that's what allows me to be free and focused and understand that when time comes, who knows what comes.
I love that in the middle of the let me give the company line, it's like, you know, I want to be here. And then he gave you the real answer.
He goes, you know what? I'm going to say it.
This is what I mean by distractions.
He didn't say anything wrong.
No.
He did not say anything wrong. I know Cowboys fans are going to be like, that's not what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say you'd do anything to stay here. No.
This is a distraction.
You know what? I'm going to say it.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy, C.D. Lamb, distractions.
I like that he dropped a be where your feet are. I think that's a Steph Curryism, but maybe it comes from somebody else. But be where your feet are is great advice.
Distractions.